Yeah, Coach, Army did a great job of coming out here, shooting 6 for 7 from beyond the yard in the first quarter. You all did a good job of not getting them to the line, but obviously the deep ball hurt you all. How did you try to, shoot that down coming later in the game?
Well, we needed to defend them. If you recall, in the first half, they were wide open when they were shooting, so it was a lot of our defensive blunders, and that's a learning lesson for us. We have to come out ready to go and sharp mentally. When the officials tossed the ball up to start the game, and we didn't do that today, and that created a hole, and it was just a snowball from there.
Okay, now, Coach, I know you all are on a 5-game losing streak, but being a former college hoops player yourself, how do you really encourage your players to bounce back and have that stay tough mentality?
Well, each game has a life of its own, and that's the way you have to approach it. But you also have to correct the mistakes that you made from the last time you were out, and unfortunately, we haven't done a good enough job with that, and we have to find a way to do that with our remaining regular season games.
Okay, and you all have Colgate on Wednesday coming up. They're another team that's very deep on their bench. Is there anything that you have that maybe you'll combat that depth with?
No, people only play all their team when they're up by a lot. When the game's closer, that's not what people do. So we have to make the game closer.
Yeah, and last question here is, I know your team is playing a little short-handed. How do you really combat the fatigue and everything when it comes to off-the-court preparation, getting ready for that next game?
You know what? I think more people tell them that they should be tired. I don't accept that. We're at this point in the season, we're practicing for an hour, 45 minutes. So they have their legs. It's not that. It's digging deep, and that's what we have to do.
Thank you, Coach. Back to Gary and John right back there in studio.
All right, AJ, thank you very much, and good job today on the sidelines. And John, time for the highlights, so take us through them. They're going to be primarily Black Knight highlights.
Yeah, they're going to be Black Knight highlights. Reese Erickson, the freshman, the dynamic freshman, certainly a leading candidate, one of the leading candidates for Rookie of the Year in the Patriot League, and she showed why tonight. Army came out on fire, Gary. They had 6 of their first 7 from three-point range, and that really dug a hole that was very difficult for Lafayette to get out of because Lafayette was struggling offensively. Haley Smith got things going finally for the Leopards with a little inside move right there, and then she steps outside, little touch pass from Anaya Matthews, and Haley Smith knocks down a 3. And then, of course, Haley got to guard the jump shot, so she provides a little shot fake, gets herself to the rim. Inside, Army was just relentless around the backboard, Gary. You talked about 48 rebounds, 18 of which were of the offensive variety. And when you rebound the ball like that, as we take a look at Natalie Ryan knocking down a jump shot, and then our own little freshman gets a nice roll out of the rim, but Michaela Andrews with the follow. Ryan hits that one. Natalie Ryan, a senior, Gary, and she's had a terrific career up at West Point. Watch the pass, the lead pass from Antignoli to Kay Donahue for the finish. Lafayette battled gamely, Gary, but they just didn't have enough when it was all said and done. Army continues to shoot the ball well. It seemed like anybody that went in the game contributed to this Army basketball team, and that'll do it right there. And the stats really tell the story, especially when you look at the rebounding totals.
Unbelievable, 48-27 on the boards. And when you look at Sabria Hunter's numbers, 21 rebounds, 17 points. And then double-figure scoring out of Erickson, Lithgow, and Ryan with 14, 10, and 11, respectively. You see why Army with 10 threes today, John.
You know, Gary, you look at the standings, and as I said, you gotta read down a little bit before you see Army's name. But this now gives them 9 of their last 11 in the league. And when you look at the way this team is coming together, you want to play your best basketball heading into the Patriot League tournament. And I got to believe that people watching Army right now don't want to play them.
They came in tied with Lehigh. Lehigh will play American in their ball game. In fact, they're playing them right now, so that's an important game for Army. Finally, looking at the numbers for Lafayette, Michaela Andrews, 14 points. Haley Smith with 12 points, and Kay Donahue with a career-high 9 points, so that's worth mentioning. Lafayette goes to 5-10, 8-17 overall. Army goes to 12-13, 10-5 overall, so they'll stay in third place after this ball game, no matter what. Final score, Army 72, Lafayette 51. A reminder, you can watch the men tonight at 6 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. You can watch the men with us on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock when the men will take on the Patriot League leading Colgate Raiders. So that's it for us. My thanks, of course, to A.J. Patel, John Leone, the Astound broadcasting team headed up by Chris Popick, and to all of you for spending time with all of us. I'm Gary Laubach. Goodbye, everybody.